In this video, we're going to learn how to set up untracked inventory, copying invoices, and creating repeating invoice templates, all of which help to create invoices faster. In the 101 course, we looked at how to enter an invoice from scratch. It is more than likely that you invoice for the same products and/or services, so why not make entering these more automated instead of typing them out each time? We can do this by adding untracked inventory to the products and services part of Xero. So when it comes to entering a line item, you can simply choose it from the drop-down menu here. So to set up new items, we go to Business, Products and Services, plus New Item. So let's imagine I'm a plumber and I want to add my hourly labour costs. So my code will be LAB and the name will be Labour per Hour. I'm going to untick this I purchased this item box and go down to I sell this item. And here we're going to fill in the data as we want it to appear on the invoice. Unit price $70. Sales account is the chart of account code. I'm going to choose sales labour. The tax rate will be 15% GST on income. Note, whether the unit price is GST exclusive or inclusive will depend on the tax rate set on the invoice. So just make sure your price here complements your invoice's setup. And then the description, which is the line item description. Do not click this I track this item, or the item will be added to Xero's tracked inventory, which is not the purpose of adding this. Then we click Save. And now let's add this new code to an invoice. So we click into the line item and we can either enter the item code if you can remember it, or just start typing the name and select it. If you have a number of items to add, you can save time by adding them in bulk by importing them. To do this, you click this Import button and click Items, and then download the template file. You then add the data to the file and then import it back in. Another way to make invoice entry quicker is to simply copy a previous invoice that has the same details as what we're wanting to invoice. For example, if I was invoicing a customer for the same thing I invoiced City Limousines for, I could click into their invoice, click the meatball menu, and select Copy to Draft Invoice. Then I can put who the invoice is for and the due date. I'm happy with these other settings. So then I can either click Approve Mark as Done if I want to send it later, or simply click this Send button if I want to send it straight away. So copying a previous invoice is a lot quicker than creating an invoice from scratch. A third way to make creating invoices quicker is to set up repeating invoices. This is a very useful tool if you invoice the same amount on a regular basis. For example, if you sell a subscription service or you rent out tools, hardware, or property, you can set up a repeating invoice template so that Xero automatically creates the invoice and, if you choose, will send it to your customer on the invoice date. Let's look at how to set this up. In the Sales Invoices screen, click the down arrow by the New Invoice button and select New Repeating Invoice. First, you have to set when you want the invoice to repeat. So I'm going to keep it as every month. But I want the invoice date to be the first of the month, with a due date of the 20th of the current month. The end date is optional, and you can put this in if you know when you want the invoices to stop being created. Here, you can choose what you want Xero to do once it has created the invoice. It can either save it into the drafts folder, save it into the awaiting payments folder, or send the invoice to your customer straight away. The first two options are suitable if you want to check the invoice before it is sent. I'm going to choose Approve. You then select the contact the invoice will be made out to. The reference field is optional, and you can select a different branding theme if you wish. Next, you fill in the details of the line items. So I'm going to charge for monthly rent. Note that here you can insert placeholders related to dates. So I could put monthly rental for the period, month, year, so that the description will have a specific date in it for every invoice generated. Then we just need to enter the rest of the necessary details. And then click Save. And we'll see here the invoice has been auto-generated and is sitting in the Awaiting Payment tab, ready for me to check and send. So the repeating invoice feature is very useful for taking the work out of invoicing and sending regular invoices to your clients or customers. If you need to edit the settings of your repeating invoice, just go to the Sales Invoices screen, click the Repeating tab, and select the template to edit. And those are 3 ways of making creating invoices a lot quicker and easier.